Despite being a fascinating, complex character with a rich backstory, J'onn J'onzz, better known as Martian Manhunter, is one of comics' most underrated characters ever. So it's no surprise that his rogues gallery is just as underappreciated as he, making his enemies practically unknown to most comic book fans. But there is one villain in particular that stands out for being the most beautiful, but also the most dangerous of them all. They say that every hero is measured by its opponents. They also say that looks can be deceiving. Well, meet Bette Noir, one of the deadliest and most bizarre characters in DC Comics, but also one of the most breathtakingly beautiful. Debuting in 1999 on the pages of Martian Manhunter 3, and created by the iconic duo, the legendary writer John Ostrander and the visionary artist Tom Mandrake, who are famous for doing wonders with Batman and the Spectre. J'onn J'onzz first encounters Bette after Superman asks John to answer a distress call that comes from Cadmus. Now, for those who may not know, Project Cadmus, or just Cadmus, is a secret genetic engineering lab that basically experiments with alien DNA. In fact, they were the ones responsible for Superboy, Connor, as well as all the clones from the original Guardian, and of course Bette Noir, as well as countless other examples we have yet to meet. But anyways, John answers a distress call from Cadmus, where one of the most powerful telepaths, Duplex, was found catatonic, and since John is also one of the world's most powerful telepaths, he tries to enter Duplex's mind to find the cause, only to be nearly sucked away by an unknown strange force that was acting as a psychic black hole of sorts, draining all of Duplex's vital energy. Seeing Duplex in that state affected John on a personal level, deeming it as the grossest level of violation between telepaths. John, determined to catch whoever was responsible, sets up a trap to catch the perpetrator, without knowing the danger he was putting himself in. After a while, the culprit, a stunningly beautiful brunette with an ethereal beauty, Bette Noir, appears without tipping any of the alarms, returning to the scene of the crime to feed once again on the psionic energy of the nearly empty Duplex. Despite the fact that John was using his invisibility to hide, Bette was able to spot him instantly, disarming him and almost annihilating him, proving just what a powerful being she really is. However, after this intense fiery encounter, and after nearly killing John, Bette seemingly flees to recover her strength, but not without a final warning. And it's at this point where John realizes she does in fact have a human body. Not to judge, but if you can even call this human. But anyways, her physical body is in the monster alley of Project Cadmus, where all the human-alien hybrids are kept in a state of coma, or as they call them, sleeping monsters. John then figures out the only way to stop her is by putting psionic restraints on her solid form, which will keep her from manifesting. Bette tries to persuade him, and even tempt him, with the idea of recovering a little of what he had lost. But John, being the noble hero that he is, refuses the tempting offer and restrains her anyway, stopping her for the first time, but not without showing a great deal of compassion for her. After all, who better than him to understand what it's like to be an outsider, and to pretend to be something else to fit in a foreign world, a world that fears you and rejects you, the real you. Bette Noir appeared once again on the last issue of the same Martian Manhunter run, where we found out what happened to her after the events of issue 3. Essentially, Dr. Trap, an old foe from Martian Manhunter's past, tricks Bette Noir with the promise of a better and less restrained body, killing her physical body to become her new host, and forcing Bette to unleash her worst telepathic capabilities at John, making John relive the most tragic and painful events of his past over and over again, until he is almost completely wiped out. However, John figures out how to free Bette, giving her full range of Dr. Trap's mind, allowing her to punish him for his actions by making him relive his most painful memories over and over again, making Bette into a punisher of sorts. Years later, Bette returned in Harley Quinn 23, where after a series of strange and unexplainable possessions start taking place, John would enter Dr. Trap's mind, where Bette Noir had previously taken over, to seek aid from Bette's powerful telepathic abilities. This time, however, Bette had become more twisted and deranged than ever before, taking great pleasure inflicting pain and suffering on Dr. Trap's psyche. Bette not only refuses to help, but immediately attacks John, turning the tables around and restraining him this time around, forcing John to resort to joining forces with Dr. Trap and using his remaining strength to override Bette and escape. Bette then returned one last time as a small cameo in Martian Manhunter 1,000,000, where after seeing what happens with John and all the other heroes in the distant future, John reminisces of his past life on Earth and his deadliest foes, including her. Her name, Bette Noir, is a variation of the French term Bête Noire, which translates to black animal. Her look, although simple, is rather effective, and it's basically an all-black suit with a translucent purple shawl. No more and no less. It's just brilliant. And with a beauty that would make any man tremble. Bette Noir stands alone in a league of her own. Now, just what makes Bette Noir such a fascinating character is how hard it is to categorize and label her, as she is, quite honestly, full of contradictions. For example, on one hand, she has great beauty but also profound ugliness. She has immense power but also great limitations as well. She longs to be loved, but she quite literally drains anyone she comes in contact with, which is quite tragic. But it's this tragedy that makes her such a compelling character, as she is the very definition of a dichotomy. Now, the thing that makes her so strange and bizarre, but also relatable, is the fact that she loathes her human form. Hence why she chose Bette Noir, the beautiful woman you see, as her avatar, which is basically the idealized image she wants everyone to see, and how she presents herself to the world, which explains why Bette looks so breathtakingly good, as she is basically the ultimate catfish. Although one could argue that our real self is the one that comes from within, not our mortal bodies. As for what makes her such a dangerous menace, well, she not only is a being of pure psionic energy, as well as a telepath, and a telekinetic, not to mention a pyrokinetic, able to create all types of fires with her mind, which happens to be John's biggest weakness. But perhaps her most dangerous skill is her ability to absorb and mimic others' powers. But that's not all. She also happens to feed on the energy of others, almost like a vampire, draining every drop until the source of energy has no more. And lastly, as if that wasn't enough, she is also a shapeshifter, able to take any form she desires, something she finds quite amusing, especially when it comes to tormenting her prey. Now, dear viewer, if you were stuck in a position where your physical body was basically stuck, and your only way of exploring the world and living was through a projection of yourself, what form would you take? Now, remember that all bets are off. You could quite literally make yourself to look like anyone or anything you want. No limits. I'm actually quite curious to know, and I look forward to reading you in the comments. As always, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Be safe and well. And remember that looks can be deceiving and deadly.
I know you inside me, like poison, like wine. Now there's no sense in falling. Say you'll be mine. Give me the world around you. give me the time. It's only a dream without you. Say you'll be mine. I've got you inside me, in darkness entwined. I will be lost without you. Say you'll be mine. Give me the world around you. Give me the time. It's only a dream without you. Say you'll be mine. Say you'll be mine. Say you'll be mine. Beware of it, Noir. 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 Whoa, Black Betty, Marshman. Whoa, Black Betty, Marshman. Whoa, Black Betty, Marshman. She's always ready, Marshman. She's all rock steady, Marshman. Whoa, Black Betty, Marshman. Whoa, Black Betty, Marshman. Whoa, Black Betty, Marshman. Whoa, Black Betty.